Imagine if a young child came up to you and you called him a kid. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, did you know the original meaning of the word kid meant baby goat? If I insisted that you shouldn't use the word kid to refer to a child because that is not its original meaning, I would be committing an etymological fallacy. Today, I will take you on a journey to discover more about these fallacies. I have done ample research and read up articles explaining this. Etymology helps us understand the definitions of words, and we have to be careful not to commit etymological fallacies. We will dive into what these fallacies are, how someone commits them, and how to avoid them. Keeping these points in mind, let's start with exploring what etymological fallacies are. Etymological fallacies are the beliefs that earlier or the earliest meanings of words are necessarily the right ones. According to Thoughts Co., this happens because the meanings of words change over time. A word's current definition can be established from its origin. So the best indicator of a word's meaning is really how it is currently used. For example, with the instance I used at the beginning of the speech, the meaning of the word kid now means child, but originally it was a term to refer to baby goats. Another example would be the word gay. According to the series Origin of Everything by PBS, around the 1960s, the word gay had a very different meaning. It was commonly used to mean being happy. In the famous cartoon series, The Flintstones, the theme song has a line, "Have a gay old time." This merely meant happy, but in the context of today's language, the word gay has evolved to mean having a sexual orientation for persons of the same gender. So how does one commit etymological fallacies? According to academy4sc.org, it starts with understanding that a word's meaning is never fixed. It changes as the word is being used in different time periods and contexts. This is called semantic change. So a word's connotations might become part of its denotation, or a word with a very narrow, precise definition might become part of the common vernacular with a new and broader meaning. Or it could deviate completely from its original meaning. The word awful was used originally as a shortened version of full of awe, but now it has a negative meaning. David Crystal, a professor of linguistic science at the University of Reading and an expert on language, points out that there is literally no limit to how far back one goes, and gives the example that the word nice, which can be traced back to Old French, meant silly, and even earlier than that, in Latin, the word meant ignorant. He highlights that some words might become popular for their slang usage and come to exclusively be used for that purpose. As words are used and misused, their definitions change. The etymological fallacy ignores that change. So in this instance, to commit such a fallacy would be to ignore that the word nice in today's context now means pleasant, and insist that it still means silly or ignorant. Let's consider how understanding the etymology of words can help us avoid this fallacy. Etymology can be very helpful in understanding how a word's definition developed into its current meaning, but a word's origin does not always determine what its contemporary meaning is. In his article titled "The Dictionary is Not a Fortress," Stephen Murritson explains that some words barely change over centuries, but others change drastically in far shorter spans. When dealing with modern works or spoken discourse, avoiding the etymological fallacy can be as easy as looking up the term or phrase in a dictionary to check its meaning. If you are unsure about a word's definition, just Google it. For historical works, though, when you would like to find the original meaning of a word, there are plenty of online word resources that you can use to investigate an older work's intended meaning. Pay attention to context as well. You'll be able to pick up some clues as to a word's likely meaning in the work itself. Check it against what you find in etymology resources like the Oxford English Dictionary. To conclude, etymology helps us understand the definitions of words, and we have to be careful not to commit etymological fallacies. These fallacies are the beliefs that the earlier or earliest meanings of words are necessarily the right ones. You can commit these fallacies when you are unsure of a word's current use and context, but you can easily avoid that by Googling the origin and current definition of words. So remember, a word's etymology can help you remember its meaning, but it can also lead you astray. Everything changes over time. A word's origin is not necessarily always its current